have been impacted. Inflation has been high.
All right, fair enough. Well, the Indian envoy, Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwarta, has held discussions with US lawmakers amidst tariff tensions between Washington and New Delhi. They had discussions over mutual beneficial trade engagements and energy security. And after discussions with Senator Bill Haggerty, Vinay Mohan stated that he was thankful for his consistent and strong support in the Indo-US ties. He also briefed him on continuing bilateral discussions for fair, balanced and mutually beneficial trade engagement. Along with this, Vinay Mohan Kwarta also shared perspectives on India's energy security and the growing trade between India and the United States in hydrocarbon with Senator Haggerty. Sumit, coming back to you, let's also talk about how Donald Trump is perhaps helping the Democrats now gain more seriousness and ground by following this economic trajectory, which is only going to spell doom for the American citizens.
Vinny, that's a beautiful question. Let me take you back, sir, to 1930. In 1930, America tried a similar thing, Smoot-Harvey Act. In 1930, what did they say is if you have to sell to America, this is the import duty which you have to pay, which Donald Trump has repackaged and called as tariffs. So what happened in 4 years, the world pushed back. And after 4 years, the Great Depression came, wherein the American GDP was shrunk by 65%. And that is what we call the Great Depression of 1930. So exactly heading on that way, Donald Trump is heading. Now the Republicans like Nikki Haley, Democrats, and a lot of people who are really bothered about America and patriotic Americans are raising this concern. Where are you pushing the world and where are you pushing the agendas? The question here is that, here the China is developing weapons which are threatening America directly, and the American president is trying to do some shosha, some tamasha, trying to get Europeans together, trying to buy them $90 billion of weapons, trying to make a deal which does not exist, and trying to get Putin to the table which he cannot get. And imagine when you cannot handle Putin, your friend who is a real estate broker or a builder, Steve Witkoff, do you think you can send him to Moscow and spend 3.5 hours with Putin and get Putin in a bottle? You could not do it. All your Europe put together could not do it. What have you done? What could you do? When Sergei Lavrov was asked 2 questions today, why did you attack, Ukraine? He said, look, Ukraine is buddying up with the West, and Ukraine was supposed to be neutral and non-aligned. If they're buddying up with the West, we have to do whatever is in our Russian national interest. So we'll keep on attacking Ukraine. And they attacked up the Lviv. Lviv is the western end of Ukraine this time. It's not only the the southern end, left western end. We have our missiles are going there. 472 drones, 40 missiles, including hypersonic missiles. Then he was asked about what about the bilateral between you and Zelensky. He said, we are in no hurry. Let the Europeans, Zelensky and Americans form up a proposal. When the proposal is formed out, give it to us. If we think the proposal is good enough, then we'll want to meet. We are in no hurry in meeting. And remember, Vinay, when Trump was in Alaska, he said, okay, ceasefire. When he landed in DC, now there will be an agreement, and of course, ceasefire will be there. Before the meeting, he let the agreement go. And just before the meeting, he let the ceasefire go, for which the German Chancellor, Merkel and Macron was very unhappy. There's a video out there where they're arguing with Trump, how can we talk of a deal when there is no ceasefire? And exactly, Putin never wanted a ceasefire. Zelensky even does not want a ceasefire, because unfortunately, when a normal or a common Ukrainian gets killed, that gives Zelensky more and more political leverage and mileage to be in the power. That is the reality of the time. That is why Zelensky never insisted on talks with ceasefire. He was okay with no ceasefire. But even today, the guarantees which are being given to Zelensky, I'll tell you something very interesting. Zelensky asked the America, what are my guarantees? Do you know what did the Americans reply? NSA of France, Germany, I think Italy and a couple of other European countries and European Commission are going to get together. They have met in Washington. They're going to meet again, and they are going to come up with a framework. The framework will be given to the NSA of individual country. And when these all NSAs agree, it will come to you. When we agree, when US agrees, we will give it to you, and that will be your framework of protection. But is there an agreement? No, it's on Trump's guarantee. What happens when Trump is not 3.5 years down the line? What happened to the Budapest Declaration, where UK, America and Russia had given in writing to Ukraine that you surrender your nuclear weapons, will protect you? So what Zelensky has got is nothing. When Europe is asking them, you want to give us $90 billion, what are we getting in return? Nobody knows anything. And let me quote you J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance says, we are not going to put $1 of the American taxpayers' money into this. If you have the money, buy weapons from our industry. Would you put American troops on the ground? No. American Air Force, American Navy? No. And even Russia just now has rejected even European troops on the ground in Ukraine is not acceptable to President Putin. So basically, we are talking of a deal which never existed. Yes, there was all shosha, tamasha, and that charade that Trump is the biggest deal maker. He's trying to go around the whole world. Trump should be bothered about 4 things, Vineet, I will tell you. YJ-15, YJ-17, YJ-19, and YJ-20. These are the 4 missiles which China is going to show on 3rd September. And these missiles are very, very dangerous for the American Navy. And when Pentagon was asked to comment on these latest weapons of China, you know what did Pentagon say? No comments. We don't know. Hame nahi pata. It's exactly when Trump was asked, why are you buying $1.2 billion of uranium every year from Russia? He said, I don't know. Are you buying $3.5 billion of energy products from Russia? He said, I don't know. You seem to know everything. You seem to know my grandmother's date of birth, but you don't know what you are buying. I mean, this is oxymoronic. This is American hypocrisy at best. And this deal never happened. This deal was all just to position Trump somewhere, and his press secretary Karen Levitt, to every day morning she comes and say, please give Nobel Prize to me.
All right.
Please
All right. Sumit, just hold on to that thought. I will come back to you. We're also learning that Germany's postal service has